He's here. The story that I'm telling today is hold on. I had a whole beginning in the car, and now it's gone. Okay. Um, so one of the most rewarding um, experiences as a writing teacher is standing back and watching my students make their own successful writing decisions. And it's wonderful to see stories and essays that kind of start in the beginning of the year and kind of develop over the year come to fruition at the end. So instead of sharing one of my pieces of writing today, I wanted to share a story by a student that I had this year. And I wish that I could have been as cool as Carlos Hernandez when I was in high school. Carlos is a humble, absolute gentleman. He gets good grades. He washes dishes at an Asian restaurant part time. And he dresses sharp as hell. And we have had lots of conversation about clothes and just about good things in life. And one day he's going to be a phenomenal business person, and he's going to do great things in this world. But the interactions this year and all of our conversations reminded me that, when it comes to leadership, we usually think that a leader has to be this grand revolutionary or this bold, revolutionary voice. And I think what Carlos helped me remember this year is that sometimes being a leader is simply being ourselves and believing in ourselves. And if we do that, we can be a leader to other people so that they also believe in themselves and then fulfill who they are as people. So this is Carlos's essay. Hearing the machine as it sews a piece of fabric is like hearing my mother singing. It's a song that I memorize as I keep hearing it. The garments I put together are a final representation of the idea I had in my head, with the exception that now I can wear it. When I put on a dress shirt and my blazer, I have to look sharp. My shirt and blazer feel almost as if they were giving me a hug. The pants drape down to exactly the line of my ankle. My black shoes represent a funeral feel, as if they were death's feet, and I had just killed fashion from head to toe, especially with my tapered haircut, my hair swiftly combed to the right. My passion for fashion grows every time my heart beats. I love looking good and examining different garments. I loved fashion since the fourth grade. I remember when I got my first pair of Jordan basketball shoes. My first instinct was to match them with my shirt. I didn't like the way they looked with my jeans because they covered the Jumpman logo. I wanted people to see the brand of my shoes. After that, it mattered how I looked. I never liked my mom dressing me. I felt like if I was her dress-up doll. Besides, she dressed me so simple. She forced me into wearing my grandma's knitted sweaters, the kind that itch all over the body like if I had ants crawling on me. Despite my own passion for fashion, I figured that I didn't have anyone to communicate with. Everything I had to say was bottled up inside of me. My ideas are going nowhere, I tell myself. When I tried to express myself with peers, it did not catch their attention. It was like I was talking Chinese to them. Most of the time I felt like talking to myself. This was the way I thought it would be most comforting. I found it funny, but sometimes I deluded and misled my mind into thinking that it wasn't important. I was totally amiss. It mattered because my passion made me who I am today, and lying to myself would be a stupidity. I would lose the value of life and just fall into the identity hole that everyone seems to fall into in high school. I kept the value of what gratifies me. When I found out that my family was not accepting who I was, it just pushed me to go beyond my own expectations. Growing up in a family where viewpoints and assumptions are made quickly wasn't easy to live with, especially since I was expected to be a man like past generations. I challenged this when I took interest in my grandma's sewing. This caused a conflict because I dress with a different style and a slimmer fit than most of my family, who wears oversized clothes and conserves a close-minded fashion sense. This led some of my maternalistic family to believe I was less of a man than others only because of my interest in sewing and the way I dressed. No matter what, I tried not to break psychologically and emotionally, but it wasn't working. During my freshman year, the words fag and maricon just circled around my head. Even if my uncles and cousins were playing, their words still pierced me. Having my mother, father, and grandmother stand up for me was significant. Their support was like a big sewing machine piecing me together. At some point, I felt like a pair of denim jeans that has been distressed over the wear and tear and finally rips once it's had enough. I had the support from my mother, father, and grandmother. Therefore, they helped me stitch myself back up. Over time, I learned how to hide the seams by covering them with the happiness and pride that I was missing. I knew that my parents were supportive of my fashion, as they are of my academics, since they always brag about my good grades. Surprisingly, at a party my parents forced me to go to after my 17th birthday, I didn't care what people thought of me anymore, especially my uncles and cousins. As I ironed my dress pants and shirt, my mom told me that I was making the right decision by going and facing what was giving me a hard time. As I walked in there with my white shirt, purple tie, and slim navy blue pants, I already felt the eyeballs of people just staring at me. It was logical, since I was the only man without cowboy boots, jeans, a shirt with animals on it, and a sombrero. It first started with my aunts and girl cousins, as they told me that I looked like an actor from TV. They also wished that more men would dress like me. Finally, my cousins told me that I looked good and asked me questions about what stores I shopped at. As I made my way towards my uncles, I stretched my hand and gave them a firm handshake. They said that every time they saw me now, I looked more grown up and even handsome. I responded by saying, "So I'm not less of a man after all." And they replied, "No, Carlos, you're not. You are a man who is going to be more successful.